Hello viewers and welcome to some action on the Crew Beta. We can see here racing around. What am I, in a Mustang? Something like that. I just can't quite see the car details from here. But here we are, racing around then on the Crew Beta. I'm running it in triple screens. I didn't mess around with the FOV settings, so I haven't looked at all the options at this point. I literally just put it on for a drive and then wasn't able to find the time to play it again. So I just thought to talk a little bit about this initial experience. Running on the PC then, frame rate was much smoother, nearer 60 frames per second, though I saw a radical drop in performance when it started to rain, straight down from 60 to 30 straight away, despite the fact that the rain didn't make a great deal of difference graphically. You know, there wasn't a lot of rain on the windscreen, but the overall environments have been improved. The other issue I was noticing is as I drive down some of these roads, if you look at the trees, you'll see the LODs changing on the trees, especially further down the road. It's quite noticeable how close the LODs were changing. You can see the trees actually transforming. If you look carefully there as I drive towards them, the detail popping into view there. So technically it's running well, but there's technical issues there that I wasn't seeing on the simulated console versions, hadn't seen in our previews as well. So that's interesting. The grass texture looked a bit repeated as well, that you're seeing either side. It didn't look as good in the flesh. So hopefully that's just part of the beta, but we will find out when we play the final game and what improvements they've made on seeing the reaction. Handling wise, I couldn't say that I noticed the new handling that I felt with the controller. Again, I didn't really notice too much in the way of depth handling change here. I'd need more time playing it. I'm just going for a random drive in this video, no races or activity, just working my way through cross country for no reason other than to just go for a drive. Just looking on the map where I'm going, and then I'll carry on. Another major issue here is the audio. There is a serious issue with the audio on here. It's not working as it normally would and should be. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of an echoey simulation going on. None of the cars sound right. It's also very quiet. The in-game audio is also very quiet. The car engine sound is very quiet, and that's why my recordings recently came out quite quiet. But, yeah, engine-wise, it's the engine notes on all the cars is not quite right. There's something sort of simulated echo that's going on. It's not sounding quite as natural. But going for a drive does feel really nice. I mean, these long drives I have, they're the closest thing to feeling like you're in a car in many ways. You do feel like you're just going for a drive. My goal here was to simply go cross-country. I know roughly where I'm going, so I just thought let's just drive through some fields and work our way there for no reason. And there's a different look graphically to everything. I quite liked it as it was before. It's slightly more pixelated now. I'm sure it's all been refined in terms of how it looks when you're going through these fields. Still a great feeling of speed. Just kind of being careful to look where I'm going so I don't crash into the metal structures themselves. Way through here, just go cross country through the flowers, and why not? You know, this is what I like about open world racing games. You know, it's what I like about just going for an exploration. You know, just a drive. You know, and I like this in Test Drive Unlimited. You know, Test Drive Unlimited 2, just going off and having a drive for no reason, just to enjoy the driving. And there's so many different cars and car types in this, and the way you can modify your cars for different multi-purpose. It's nice to see the world that Ubisoft have built. And I look forward to this year having a bit more time on it than I had last year to explore the map. I was planning on doing more of these, just driving around, and didn't really have the time. So on the demo, managed to play with all the different vehicles. It does make a big difference for me, frame rate. I do like the sort of 60 frames improvements that you get on the PC version. Into a river here, that's a pain. I'll start working my way along, see if there's a way to get across there. tricky driving along here. The car obviously wasn't handling as well. Whoa, just slid down. Got away with that. I just need to take it a little bit slower. There's a certain realism to this. You know, it felt quite authentic in the car, and looking around and seeing the detail in this huge world they had. It's still a big old map, and it's been quite a speed that Ubisoft have turned it all around this year and redeveloped it. Thinking, no, that's not working. I've seen a bridge in the distance now, so I think, right, if I work my way back to the road, I can get over that bridge. Accelerate over that. Feeling of speed there, so working on my way towards my target, and I'm using the compass in the bottom corner to work out my journey rather than the blue line. At the moment I just go off road. Bit of Return of the Jedi, going through the trees, a little bit tricky. The car wasn't responding too well in this sort of rough terrain, so goodness, as you can see there, you hit a bump and it just didn't like that. So I realised I might be some really rough terrain here, you know, going down these dips. Oh, feeling that. My butt kicker was rumbling away at those moments, working my way back up the hill. It's a bit of uphill and down dale, but I just thought I'd go for a drive and discover things. You know, the visuals have made such a difference. They've really made it into a new map. Physics-wise, I haven't had enough time on this demo to go through all of it in any detail. I do like the monster trucks. I think certainly they handle really nice and a lot of fun. But I also feel that if you drive the monster trucks from the cockpit cam, you're at a huge disadvantage. You know, you really do get a lot more. Well, actually, it's not just the cockpit cam. If you're driving with a wheel, you're at a disadvantage because you can't flip your car. You know, the fact is that you can flip your car with the monster trucks, and you can't with the wheel. There's no option to do that. So, you know, it's a nice feature, but it's just a shame it doesn't convert as well for wheel users. You could have your pad on your lap. Usually, I do. I use my pad for various options as I drive along, but at the same time don't have the time to reach down for it all the time. I think better of it just driving on the road here before I go a bit off road again. Should start testing out different vehicles that are designed for different types of terrain. Through the trees there, why not? Why not? That didn't work out right, did it? That did not work out right. Okay, trying to work my way up. Oh, the car's just not having it basically, so not the right vehicle for this terrain. So I'm going to work my way back to the road. Trying to get up the hill. Run up. Try and begin to work my way up. It's just not going any faster up the hill. So, well, do let me know your impressions on the Crew Beta. How have you found it so far? What vehicles have you liked? For me, the monster trucks are a lot of fun. I like the way they move around. It feels quite intuitive. I haven't done a great deal of the drifting, but as I mentioned on the videos, it doesn't work very well. I couldn't get the drifting working at all with the wheel on hardcore handling settings. I think that's something that still needs some work. But certainly in general, I didn't find it find it pretty tough to play the drifting with a wheel in general. And the biking I haven't tested with a wheel obviously, but tested with a pad, and I found the biking to be very intuitive and a great new addition as well. So I think all those additions are really good. They really add to the world of the Crew. And I look forward to getting on there a bit more this Christmas and exploring more of the map and perhaps doing some online multiplayer as well. Exploring a little bit of that. Whoa! Ouch! Goodness. Okay, so this car is not working well in this environment. Really, you need a big off-road vehicle. And I changed to one in just a moment. Should have changed to one a while ago, but I get into the whole changing vehicles thing. This wasn't actually meant to be shown on the channel. This was meant to be just be a little clip, and then I was going to edit everything and run it, you know, spend a few more hours on it another day. And then unfortunately I haven't managed to get back on it, so I'm thinking now, you know what, I'm going to change to another vehicle. Where am I? I'm there, working my way to the location. Change vehicles. Can't quite see, unfortunately, in the editing window the exact vehicle I'm selecting, but some big Ford off-road F-150, something like that probably. And so now driving again, and you know, immediately it's a huge difference in the driving of this vehicle. You know, I'm on my brakes going downhill there, no problem. Much more control, much more power off-road. This felt a lot more comfortable to drive. You know, really, if you want a nice big rugged vehicle like this, if you're going to drive off-road, you know, it's giving me the right direction. See, it's still sliding around a bit, but that's almost vertical hill. You can come on, take it. Wasn't having it. Trying to get the car moving. It's just not going to have it. I'm trying to control it to get it backwards now. And just fall under those rocks, which I knew were there, and I thought, no, we're just going to slam onto the rocks. So it can do a lot more stuff off-road, but it couldn't go up that almost vertical hill there, but it was worth a try. So I'm going to stick to the road. Oh, let's see another route here. So why don't we go back over this bridge here for no reason other than I just wanted to go over a nice bridge. I do like the bridges in this game, nice and detailed. So, do give me a feedback on the game. Whoa! Whoa, didn't like that there, did it? A little bit of wall, but it's no problem. It'll buff out. We're on the move again. You know, my guy can take it. So yes, do let me know your feedback on the Crew While Run on the PC version. It'll be interesting to get people's feedback. Obviously, you know, this doesn't represent the final game. There will be work being done on it. The point of a beta is that you test it and get feedback on people's systems and how they cope. This car, obviously, it's good off-road, but it's not as good on the road. With that in mind, I decide, you know what, I'm going to change to another vehicle now. Garage. Light is fading from us gradually. You can see now the trees changing again, lots of log changing in the trees. It's quite off-putting when you're driving along. It's something that needs to be looked at. The rain needs to be optimised at the moment. That was it's called serious slowdown. It made the game quite unplayable for me when it was raining. It was very difficult to play. The frame rate going down from 60 to 30 or less. Good dodge there as well. Bit of steering lag. But a lot of that's made worse by the cockpit moving. I did go into the options and locked the cockpit movement, but it didn't seem to make much of an effect on the actual game. So I don't know if that command wasn't working as well. Changing to another car. I want something faster now, a bit more of a performance car I think I'm in now. It's a shame the audio wasn't quite right, because I know from the original game the audio here was not as it should be. So much easier to drive. Again, another example of, you know, a good street car on the tarmac. You know, so much more grip, so much more performance. Do a trip in half the time. For me, at the same time, it's not all about sticking to the roads. It's about exploring off-road, and it's about enjoying the driving. Just enjoying driving down these roads. Again, you know, if I was young and I was playing something like this, it would feel like real life driving along. You know, it's got a very realistic feel to it in many respects, in terms of just the feeling of being in a car. Not so much in terms of the physics. Now, another problem here occurred. Time of day was changing, and as you can see, I can't even see where I'm going. I'm following the blue line, but I really have no clue where I'm going now. The ground is pitch black. I don't know if there's a button to turn on my lights. Maybe there is. Couldn't find one. Looking for one on the wheel. Thinking, well, I can barely drive this now. So, the lights do come on in a moment. They're not very handy. They're not really working very well. I mean, I've driven the crew at night, as many of you will know. I did the entire country at night on one of my coast-to-coast videos. But as you can see here, lights aren't on yet, and the lights do come on in a moment, and they're really not making any difference. Turn around here, and I'm supposed to be going and getting a bit lost. So testing every single button to find out if there was a lights button. Anyway, the lights are on. So I think, right, okay, let's go in car. And they're not, you can see, it's not full beam, is it? I mean, the lights don't shine the road far ahead. I'm thinking, surely there's a button for more lighting. But I'm thinking, no, okay. In car, start driving. And I think, well, let's turn around, let's go back the way we came. As you can see, I can barely see where I'm going. I mean, I can't go that fast. There wasn't much light being shone ahead, and I could barely see the ground. So it's going to be very difficult racing at night, it has to be said. I found it very difficult indeed, driving along at night. Actually looks easier on the video than it did when I was actually playing. I felt I was driving into complete blackness most of the time, and no idea what kind of roads or challenges I was going to be up against. And this meant driving off-road was an impossibility at this stage, simply because you couldn't see where you're going. You're just driving into objects. I missed the road there, and that's that for this video. But that's it from me. As ever, more soon.